Jai Hind. I'm Manmohan Chawla, and today I'm going to talk to you in regard to the latest developments after coronavirus. And see, today we find that serious questions are being raised by intelligence agencies, by the government, by politicians, and intellectuals. Questions are number one, as to why the this virus, which has started in Wuhan, city of China, has concentrated only in Wuhan and not to the rest of the parts of China. Whereas this virus has traveled all over the world, crossing all oceans, Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean, or whatnot, everything, everywhere, including Russia also. Why I'm mentioning Russia? Because this has got a reference in the next talk also. Now, this has spread everywhere, but not in other parts of China. What is the reason for that? This is one question. Second is that China has been importing or has not been exporting some medical supplies essentially required for the disease of this virus. Now, another one is regarding questioning of WHO. Well, this question has been already taken care of, but these two questions are very relevant. Uh, Now the question is, these questions are valid or they're only a suspicion? Now, once a suspicion is created in the minds of the people, this works out to a very large extent. Now the question is, this war, what we can call it is economic war, that war, the China, its government has been successful. It looks like that. They are quite successful in this economic war against whole of the world. They appears to have won it. I'm talking, they appears to have won this economic war against the whole of world. But let's examine it. As and when there is a war, there is a natural reaction. That natural reaction against whole of the world, is it going to create some different world order in the different, moreover in the economic war and on the human existence? I feel there is a emergency. Emergency has been declared, not declared, but is undeclared emergency in the economic activity and that of the human existence. Now, the war will be answered back. Is the anger of the people is going to such an extent that the political leadership and the business leadership are going to react it so fast or so quickly that they have to find out certain more alternatives in this area, or we can say they will keep silent and they will start struggling with their own economic and human existence. To my mind, I think that there will be a reaction, and we can see that reaction not only in the Western world, or which is being leadership which lies with the USA, but also Russia will also be on this side. This reminds me to another historical event which took place in 1957. What was that? That was that in 1957, President Nasser has nationalized the Suez Canal against the ownership which was held by France and Britain. Now, Britain and France did not accept it, and they joined hands together and included Israel also, resulting they bombarded and took over the Suez Canal in their control. Now, this happened in the history. Just imagine if this would have continued in the hands of Britain and France, then the world order would have been different. But United States of America, who was the member of the NATO, where Britain and France were also the member, reacted opposite to them. They reacted opposite to them, and Russia, who was that time a USSR, United States of Soviet Republic, that time he joined hands with USA along with UNO and forced their NATO allies to withdraw from the Suez Canal, and the control was shifted. And right now it is controlled with the Egypt. Now my point is that after this economic war, though it looks that it has been won by China, probably, or I feel it sure about it, is going to be reversed, because all these nations will come together, they will become more revengeful, they will react to that one. Now, options available to them are very much obvious. In addition to many countries like Japan, Indonesia, Malaysia, and everything, India is going to be a best choice for them for finding other economic activity much more stronger than what we find in China. This is an opportunity. It's people can think like that. Business leaders can also think they may sacrifice certain other motives of profits because the political leaders may join. Now, once this is pushed together and collective way, there is a possibility that India may be exposed to all these business investment. Now, the question definitely arises, is India capable? There are other countries also equally capable and more proficient rather, and there are historical events which will prove that they have better chances than India. That is, if you remember, about 2-3 years back when Modi has been giving his speeches in different parts of the country to make an investment in India, and many countries, about 40 business leaders decided to come to India, and you'll be surprised to know that out of these 40 business leaders or the companies, they did not set up in India. Only one company could settle in India after struggling for 3 years. Now, this is the ratio. What I am saying is, now, next question is that at this time, situations are different. It's not like that a normal, based on the emotional, political requirements, but there is a revengeful attitude. That is the mindset that is so much getting stronger day by day that it will continue making the politicians and the business leaders to think together to find a better chance or alternatives, so that this economic emergency and the human welfare is not repeated. This is a complete war. Now maybe that the chances right now not looking that much bright in India, but India as such right now in the situation have a strong leadership. There are definitely two factors which I had always saying it, that the in anything you want to do historically uplift any activity, then two things are very important. One is the leadership. The leadership had to be strong and should have a longer time. Second is the human being, the citizen of those countries. Citizens of the countries had to be committed. They have to think in one way, in homogeneity. They have to think together one way. What is that? They have to think that you have to lift your country. If you want your country to become number one country, if you want, then the only alternative right now is available. Fortunately, fortunately, the the international community right now is thinking together, not one country or just business investors, but they are forced to think out of revenge to teach a lesson to China. It may be right or wrong. It is a perception that they are angry with that one and they're putting their energies together and looking forward to what? India. Why they should look to India? What is that in India? India has not yet been a so successful country, but it's a big country. Big country means as equal as China. 130 crores in India and 140 crores in China. In addition, they have consumers. Consumers of middle classes. They have young people more than in any other part of the world. These are very, very good, I mean, say, opportunities. And this can be done, it's available and can be done. If, again I say, if Indian government, Indian people, they come to this occasion, rise up to the occasion, and make sure the people come together. There are many oppositions to it. There are people who against uplift economic benefits. They are putting hurdle. They are acting like a brakes, and there are many politicians. They are coming, and there are many institutions which needs changes. You make a change in your I would say it like land acquisition laws. Make changes in your not only land acquisition laws but in your labor laws also. These labor laws are hire and fire. That's a requirement for the economic activity, and you can't continue like that. This has to be changed, and I know there are oppositions. There will be a lot of in democratic setup. These are the misfortunes. But today, India has got to declare an undeclared economic emergency. Against that, whatever hurdles are coming, you have to stop it. Strongly, you have to compromise. You have to compromise the principles of your democracy for some period, at least 5 to 10 years. Before that, it is not possible to replace a country, huge country like China. Even if you try, still it will not be as successful as is desirable. I'm talking again another third point. India has to be very cautious. India has to not be lured only by various kind of promises made by politicians of other stronger countries, but at the same time, it has to see that you have to deal with all the countries, including China also. You already have many business dealings with them. Simultaneously, these things have to taken together and act accordingly the best of your benefits. But the chance which has come to you, avail it. I understand it that there are, in addition to that one, there are difficulties. There are definitely difficulties, and the people right now are looking forward that the country should become number one country. How much for, how long it takes, that's a practical aspect. But once the commitment comes and the leadership also come together and determine, and I stress again on this point, that democracy at this stage has to be compromised to some extent. Various laws has to be changed. Various practices has to be made. You have to make a one window for the investors. When the window is open, he puts a proposal to you. And when he puts a proposal, he should not be asked to run around, but there should be one window and one person to solve the problem. Let there be project managers from the government side and let the proposal be from the investors. He puts a proposal to the government and that becomes a baby of the project manager who takes care of getting all sort of approvals from different institutions. Maybe RBI, maybe SEBI, or maybe stock exchanges, or maybe anything, financial institution, whatever it is that should be his job. Investors should not be made to run from left to right. It should be done by them. I'm just trying to put a simple example in an easy way. I want to buy a house in India. Then what I do, I put an application to the seller and I want to buy it. Now, if I want to take a loan, it is not the job of the seller. It's not the job of the other government. It is a buyer. Buyer has to run around, go left and right and after this one. But seller will not help. That trend has to change. Government is a seller, is a business seller, and the business leaders who are going to come to this country, they are buyers. You have to create an environment for them. That much that they have not to do any other thing which government's approvals are required. Only what they have to do is the business. They have to see the profit. They have to see they can fire the people as and when they like it. According to your own business requirement, you have to change those ones. I believe and strongly believe India is capable, has come to that conclusion also. The leadership is committed. And I would say in a last slogan, what you call it a Chak De India. This is your time. Pick it up and choose it and go ahead. Thank you very much.